Congratulations on your purchase of the Cabela's Carnivore electric meat grinder. The Carnivore lineup of commercial-grade grinders offers a variety of groundbreaking features not found on any other grinders on the market until now. Each grinder in the Carnivore line is built with rugged quality through and through. Massive precision-honed steel gears, driven by a powerful, quiet-running heavy-duty induction motor, delivers the grinding power you need to process all kinds of boneless meat and game with reliable precision, power, and ease. One of the most unique and revolutionary innovations of the Carnivore grinder is the patent-pending CoolTech Ice Gel Pack. Keeping meat cold as it runs through the friction and heat of the grinder head has always been a challenge with traditional meat grinders. The Carnivore CoolTech Ice Gel Pack solves that problem by wrapping tightly around the grinder head and keeping meat colder longer to prevent clogging and binding while helping to increase pounds per minute output. The motor housing and cowl ring are designed to keep the motor and grinder head cooler longer by diverting heated air out and away from the unit. Besides CoolTech, there are a number of other helpful operating and convenience features that are designed to make meat grinding, sausage stuffing, and snack stick making easy and enjoyable. In order to help you operate your Carnivore meat grinder properly and safely, we will be reviewing the following need-to-know chapters in this video. First, we'll get you familiar with the Carnivore grinder. We'll show you how to use the CoolTech Ice Gel Pack. We'll run you through the assembly steps. We'll do Meat Processing 101, from preparation to cleanup. And we'll go over some general operating steps. We'll also practice meat grinder safety during the operation, and we'll show you some helpful hints for optimal operation. We'll be making sausage and snack sticks. We'll go over proper cleanup and storage, and yes, we'll go over some troubleshooting tips as well as reviewing some optional commercial grinder accessories. So, let's get started with getting to know your Carnivore meat grinder. But first, it's important that you read and fully understand the operating instructions. You may want to take a moment now to read the operating instructions and warning labels, and then return to this point in the video to continue. Okay, let's take a look at all of the unique safety, convenience, and performance features that make the Carnivore grinder best in class. Like the commercial-style Easy Grip stainless steel grinder head ring nut, the extra-large non-slip feet, the extra-large grinder head locking knob, the convenient heavy-duty carry handle, the heavy-gauge stainless steel meat tray, the safety protection tray guard on number 22, 32, and 42 grinders, the side-mounted on and off switch. The number 22, 32, and 42 grinders, by the way, also feature a reverse function. The CoolTech Ice Gel Pack, and a convenient slide-out accessory storage drawer with a removable vibration-absorbing mat. Your Carnivore grinder also comes with 3 sausage stuffing funnels, a stuffing star, and snack stick stuffing tube with high-speed auger. The medium 29mm and large 39mm stuffing tubes feature a patent-pending slotted turbo flow design that works with the high-speed auger to pull meat into and through the tube for faster stuffing. Also be sure to check that you have these important parts included in your package: a 10mm coarse grinding plate, a 4.5mm fine grinding plate, our one-way fit grinder cutting knife, a specially designed auger pull handle, which we'll show you how to use later on in the video, and a meat stomper. Before assembling your grinder, check to make sure that all the parts we described are included in the carton. Prior to use, you'll need to disassemble the grinder head and wash all of the parts thoroughly in hot soapy water, taking particular care to remove any grease and oil residue from surfaces. Dry all parts thoroughly by hand. Do not place any of the parts in the dishwasher. We also recommend treating parts that come in contact with food with a food-grade silicone spray available from Cabela's after each use. If any parts are missing or damaged, call customer service at 1-800-237-4444. One of the first steps we recommend is to place the CoolTech Ice Gel Pack in the freezer overnight before you're ready to use the grinder. If possible, place the grinder head with the CoolTech Ice Gel Pack attached in the freezer in order to have maximum cold for extending faster output while grinding. To attach the Cool Tech Ice Gel Pack to the grinder head, simply wrap the pack around the head, making sure that the curved section on the left side of the Cool Tech pack aligns with the curve of the grinder head feed chute. Next, pull the rubber tab over and down on the raised knob on the right side of the pack to lock it into place. Before you begin assembling the main body of the grinder, make sure you have selected a work area that allows space for your grinder, meat tubs, and other accessories, and that an electrical outlet is close by. Since the grinder is a heavy appliance, use the lift handle to place it on a hard countertop or other flat, smooth surface. Do not place the grinder on a fine finish table since the weight could scratch or tarnish the finish. Be sure to keep the grinder unplugged until you're ready to grind. To assemble, remove the grinder head with the Cool Tech Gel Ice Pack attached from the freezer and place them on the work surface along with a 10mm grinding plate, cutting knife blade, auger, and front head ring nut. Next, loosen the black grinder head locking knob until the threads are not exposed inside the motor housing opening. Then insert the grinder head into the motor housing. Turn clockwise until the slot on the top of the grinder head aligns with the pin inside the motor housing. Make sure that the head is fully seated into the motor housing, then tighten the grinder head locking knob to lock the grinder head in place. Next, insert the auger by aligning the spline with the grinder drive shaft. Slightly turn the auger clockwise until it seats into the gear housing. Next, you'll need to attach the cutting knife. You'll notice that the cutting knife is a one-way fit design that ensures that the flat side of the blade edges will face outward when you place it onto the square portion of the auger pin. Next, place the grinder plate onto the auger pin and align the slotted notch in the grinder plate with the bottom notch in the grinder head opening. The cutting plate will protrude approximately 1/8 inch out of the grinder head. We recommend that you always use the coarse 10mm plate for the first grind. For increased output, there are other grinding plates available from Cabela's. Now attach the front head ring nut and turn clockwise until it is snug against the grinder plate. Do not over-tighten the ring nut. Over-tightening adds pressure on the grinder assembly that will cause increased heat-generating friction in the grinder head, which will add stress to the motor. The last assembly step before operating is to insert the meat tray. You'll see that the meat tray on the number 22, 32, and 42 tray features a protective tray guard to prevent the stopper from entering the grinding area. Remove the safety message wrap from the tray guard and save it for reference and storage. Warning: do not remove the tray guard when operating the grinder due to the risk of serious injury. Insert the neck of the tray into the grinder feed chute and you're now ready to grind. If you have purchased the number 42 Carnivore grinder, you'll see that there is a pre-installed grinder head throat guard safety flap. You'll need to follow these steps for attaching the meat tray. To place the neck of the number 42 tray into the safety flap opening, hold the tray in one hand and open the safety flap by squeezing the tabs together. Then insert the tray until it's secure. Next, align the holes in the tray support bracket under the tray with the holes in the tray standoff handle. Then adjust the tray standoff to achieve proper alignment of the tray with the standoff. Insert the included thumb screws through each of the tray bracket support holes into the tray standoff. Insert the remaining thumb screw through the front tray tab and into the threaded hole of the safety flap. Before we move on to grinding, let's take a moment to talk about the importance of proper meat preparation and chilling. Okay, before we start grinding, you need to keep in mind that proper meat preparation and keeping meat cold is extremely important to maximizing your output, as well as avoiding clogging and binding. First, you need to make sure that you have trimmed the meat you want to use. Get rid of all the excess fat and suet and tendons and bones. If you're trimming wild turkey or other fowl, inspect it for any shot pellets that may be lodged in the meat. Meat should be cut into sizes small enough to fit easily into the feed chute. Cutting into 1-inch size cubes will work best. This is also the time when you can also add any extra spices you want to use. Make sure that you have refrigerated all the meat in storage containers with a lid in between 38 and 45 degrees for at least 4 hours before you begin. As we mentioned earlier, the Cool Tech Ice Gel Pack should be frozen and if possible, store it in the freezer attached to the grinder head until you're ready to start. Keeping meat and the grinder head cold is the key to successful grinding and optimum output. We recommend having plastic meat tubs for storage and for catching the ground meat. Storage tubs are also available from Cabela's. Remember, you should not allow meat to sit out at room temperature any longer than absolutely necessary in order to prevent clogging. When grinding for the first time, we recommend using the coarse 10mm grinding plate for the first run. If a finer grind of meat is desired, then run the meat through the grinder a second time using the fine 4.5mm grinding plate. Now, we're ready to start grinding. Let's start getting ready to grind by placing a meat tub or large bowl under the grinder head and then begin adding meat to the meat tray, starting from the back of the tray. Place just enough meat in the tray to leave the feed chute area open. You don't want to overfill the tray. Before you start, make sure that the on and off switch is in the off position on the grinder. Then plug the grinder electrical cord directly into a grounded wall outlet using the grounded 3-prong plug. Do not use an extension cord since it can diminish the power of the grinder motor. For number 8 and number 12 grinder models, simply push the power button to the on position and the grinder will start. For number 22, 32, and 42 models, turn the yellow grinder operating switch to the forward position. Using the included stopper, slowly feed meat cubes from the back of the tray forward into the feed chute. Never try to push meat into the feed chute with your fingers or any other object. Always use the stopper that's provided. Also, remember to never run the grinder dry without meat being fed into it, because metal-to-metal friction causes extreme heat, which can damage the unit. Meat actually acts as a natural lubricant when passing through the grinder, so when you run out of meat, turn off the grinder immediately. Again, remember, the colder the meat, the better the grinding output. The CoolTech Ice Gel Pack will keep the grinder head chilled for about a half hour or so. If you're planning to grind a lot of meat at one time, you may want to have extra CoolTech Ice Gel Packs on hand in the freezer so you can rotate them. You can order extra CoolTech Ice Gel Packs from Cabela's retail store or online. Before we move on to all the other ways you can use your Cabela's Carnivore meat grinder, always remember to think safety when operating the grinder. Here's some safety tips to keep in mind. Be sure to read all of the safety labels located on various parts of the grinder. Dress right for the job. Tie back loose hair and clothing. Take off rings, watches, and jewelry, and roll up long sleeves. Use latex or rubber gloves when working with meat and wear approved safety glasses. Never operate the grinder without the front ring nut, meat tray, and meat tray guard in place. Always use the provided stopper to push meat into the feed chute. Never feed food by hand and never reach into the grinder with your hand. The Carnivore meat grinder is a commercial grade grinder. It is not a toy, so keep children away from your work area. Before operating the grinder, read the instruction manual from cover to cover and pay close attention to the important safeguards on pages 4 and 5. Every time you use your Carnivore meat grinder, you should always plan to use these best practices to optimize the grinder's performance. Keep meat cold. Refrigerate just above freezing until you are ready to use it. Store meat in plastic or glass containers. Always pre-freeze the CoolTech Ice Gel Packs. If possible, store the CoolTech Ice Gel Packs attached to the grinder head in the freezer for a minimum of 4 hours prior to use. Do not over-tighten the front ring nut and don't overfill the meat tray. Always use the stopper. Never place hands or objects into the feed chute or the grinder head. Never operate the grinder dry or without the meat tray in place. When you run out of meat, shut the grinder off immediately. On the number 22, 32, and 42 grinders, you can jog the spring-loaded reverse function briefly for a few seconds to help clear out a jam should one occur. Make sure the grinder comes to a complete stop before engaging the reverse function. If it is necessary to remove the auger for cleaning during operation, turn off and unplug the grinder first. and use the included auger puller tool to remove the auger. Never try to remove the auger by hand. Whenever you need to remove the auger, always use the auger pull handle. Just slide the larger opening of the puller over the auger pin, then pull down over the pin until the smaller opening of the auger puller locks into the notch. Then pull out slowly while pressing downward on the puller. Note that the Carnivore grinder features an all-hardened steel gear transmission that allows the grinder to operate at a higher volume and temperature than other grinders. This is normal and will not affect the grinder's performance. Also remember that your Carnivore grinder is permanently lubricated, so you'll never need to oil the gear housing. Grinding a variety of meats and wild game quickly is only one of many benefits that your Cabela's Carnivore commercial grade meat grinder provides. Your Carnivore grinder already includes a 3-piece sausage stuffer funnel kit with stuffing star and a snack stick stuffing tube with a high-speed auger, so you can make sausage and snack sticks using your own favorite recipes or any of the suggested recipes found in the operating instructions. You'll see that there are 3 sizes of stuffing funnels included in the funnel kit. The large 39mm is primarily used for filling meat and sausage bags. The medium 29mm and small 23mm stuffing tubes are used for casings, depending on the size and type of sausage casing you're using. The medium 29mm and large 39mm stuffing tubes feature a patent-pending slotted turbo flow design that works with the high-speed auger to pull meat into and through the tube for faster stuffing. There is a description of the different types of sausage casings on page 17 of the instruction manual. In order to use the sausage stuffer, you should follow the following steps. If you're changing over to start stuffing sausage right after grinding meat, you will first need to do the following. Turn off and unplug the grinder. Remove the Cool-Tech Gel Ice Pack and place it in the freezer and refrigerate the meat until you're going to use it for stuffing, or at least an hour to keep it chilled until you're ready to start. Next, remove the locking ring nut, grinder plate, and cutting knife. Use the auger pull handle to remove the auger. Do not use your hands to remove the auger. Remove any leftover meat residue on all parts by hand washing and drying. Do not place parts in the dishwasher. After cleaning all the parts, reinsert the grinder head into the motor housing and tighten the locking knob to lock the grinder head into place. Next, insert the auger. Then slide the high-speed auger onto the auger pin and push back until it's seated tightly into the back of the pin. You can also choose to use the stuffing star versus the auger if you wish. Note that you will not need the grinder plate and the cutting knife for making sausage. Next, slide the thin side of the stuffing funnel tube through the plastic flange. Line up the notches in the flange with notches on the funnel, then pull, turn counterclockwise, and snap to lock. Now place the funnel and flange through the front ring nut and place onto the grinder head opening, making sure that the funnel stays centered. Turn the large grinder head ring nut clockwise until it's snug. Do not over-tighten it. Place the meat tray onto the grinder head feed chute and attach a frozen Cool-Tech Gel Ice Pack. Remove the meat you are going to use from the refrigerator and get ready to start stuffing. While one person can stuff sausage with this grinder, it may be better if 2 people perform this operation. One person to operate the grinder and push meat into the chute with the stomper, while the other person manages the output into the sausage casing. You can also add more starting and stopping control over the stuffing process by using the optional electric food grinder foot pedal switch, which is available from Cabela's. To begin stuffing, place your pre-chilled seasoned meat into the meat tray, making sure not to overfill the tray. Place just enough meat to leave the feed chute area open. Slide a sausage casing over the stuffing funnel. You can refer to the sausage information and casing section of the instruction manual for more information about different types of casings. Pull a couple of inches of casing off the end of the stuffing funnel tube and tie a knot in the end of the casing. Make sure the grinder is in the off position, then attach the grinder to the power supply. If you have a number 8 or number 12 grinder, press the grinder on button. If you have a number 22, 32, or 42 grinder, then turn the yellow grinder operating switch to the forward position. Carefully start feeding ground meat into the feed chute. Only use the stopper to push meat into the head. Do not use your fingers or any other object. Hold the casing in place with one hand while feeding the sausage mixture through the grinder. As the meat fills the casing, gently lay it on a clean, dry surface. When you use the stuffing tube with the high-speed auger, you'll notice how the auger actually pulls the meat into the tube to move it faster into the casing. Do not fill the last 4 to 6 inches of the casing. After the entire length of casing has been stuffed, twist the open end to close, then tie off the ends of the casing tightly. You can also twist it into links if you desire. Whenever stuffing sausage, fill the casing slowly to avoid air pockets. If air pockets do appear in the sausage, use a pin to prick the bubbles. The small holes will seal naturally. Besides stuffing sausage, your Carnivore Cool-Tech grinder also comes with a snack stick stuffing tube and high-speed plastic auger that's designed to help you make a variety of tasty snack sticks easily. It's important to note that the high-speed plastic auger is to be used with the 10mm stuffing tube. Also note that you do not use the sausage stuffing star, grinder plate, or cutting knife with the snack stick stuffer assembly. Before assembling the snack stick assembly, make sure the grinder is in the off position and unplugged. Attach the pre-frozen grinder head with the Cool-Tech gel ice pack into the motor housing and secure the grinder head into place and turn the grinder head locking knob until it's tight. Remember to not over-tighten the knob. Next, insert and align the auger spline with the grinder drive shaft, slightly turning it clockwise until it seats into the gear housing. Next, slide the high-speed auger onto the auger pin and push until it is seated tightly to the back of the pin. Next, slide the snack stick funnel tube through the plastic flange and line up the flange notches with the funnel notches. Pull, turn counterclockwise, and snap to lock. Next, insert the funnel tube and flange through the front ring nut and place onto the grinder head, making sure that the funnel tube stays centered. Then turn the large grinder head ring nut clockwise until it's snug. Again, do not over-tighten. You are now ready to add your jerky stick meat mixture to the meat tray. When preparing meat for your snack sticks, you can use pre-packaged jerky stick spice kits and snack stick casings available from Cabela's. You may also want to debone and store your meat mixture ahead of time using a Cabela's vacuum sealer, since it's important to keep your meat mixture refrigerated and cold until you're ready to stuff. To start stuffing, plug in the grinder and push the power button on, and depending on your model, turn the grinder on or turn the yellow operating switch to forward until the meat mixture reaches the end tip of the stuffing funnel. Then turn the grinder off. This will keep excess air from entering the snack stick casing at the beginning of the stuffing process, which could cause the casing to balloon and split. Next, slide the collagen snack stick casing onto the long stuffing tube. Pull a few inches of casing off the end of the tube and pinch and twist the end of the casing to close it. If the diameter of your snack stick casing is a little larger than the tube, hold the closed end of the casing tightly against the end of the stuffing funnel. Switch the grinder to the forward or on position and carefully start feeding meat into the grinder feed chute with the stopper while controlling the feed into the casing with the other hand. Once you have filled the extended length of the casing, pull off and twist the end to seal. To make sticks to the size you want, pinch and twist the snack stick casing to the preferred length, cut, and separate into single sticks. Now they're ready for the oven, dehydrator, or smoker. All right, taking steps to properly clean up and store your Cabela's Carnivore Cool-Tech grinder will ensure that it's ready to operate at peak performance season after season. Before cleaning, make sure the power is turned off and the unit is unplugged. Disassemble the grinder head by removing the front ring nut, grinder plate, and the cutting knife, or remove the stuffing tube and flange. To safely remove the spiral auger, use the auger puller handle by first sliding the larger opening of the puller over the auger pin, then pulling down over the pin until the smaller opening of the auger puller locks into the notch on the auger pin. Then pull down and out slowly to remove the auger. Do not place your hands or fingers into the grinder head at any time, even when the grinder is turned off and unplugged. Next, remove the meat tray. If you have a Carnivore number 22, number 32, or 42 grinder, the meat tray features a specially mounted tray guard that prevents the stomper from entering too far into the feed chute. Please read the instructions on page 19 of the instruction manual on how to remove and reinstall the tray guard. Also refer to the instructions on page 19 for removing and reinstalling the meat tray on the number 42 grinder. Be sure to wash all parts thoroughly in hot, soapy water, taking particular care to remove all grease and oil from the surfaces. Rinse and dry everything thoroughly before reassembling. Always hand wash. Parts are not dishwasher safe. Proper maintenance of your Cabela's grinder is the best way to extend the life of your grinder and protecting it from corrosion while it's in storage. Start by fully lubricating all parts that come in contact with meat by using a food-grade silicone spray available from Cabela's after each use. One of the best convenience features you'll find with your Carnivore grinder is the convenient pull-out storage tray located in the base for storing stuffing tubes, grinder plates, flange, and the auger puller. The tray pad is also removable for cleaning. You may also want to keep your grinder head, meat tray, and snack stick stuffer in the original carton for storing and additional protection when you're not using it. Always keep the grinder and parts stored in a cool, dry place. Never store your Cabela's Carnivore CoolTech meat grinder below temperatures of 45 degrees Fahrenheit. The optimal storage temperature should be between 50 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. If outside or indoor temperatures are below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, lubricants in the gearbox will alter, causing the unit not to turn on properly and even can damage major components. Always make sure that the grinder has warmed up to room temperature above 60 degrees Fahrenheit for at least an hour before you use it. Also be sure to inspect the CoolTech gel ice pack before and after every use for cracks or leaks. If you should happen to see any cracks or leaks, do not use it with the grinder and contact customer service at the phone number shown in this video. Also note that the contents of the CoolTech ice gel pack are non-toxic. Your Cabela's Carnivore meat grinder is designed to make your grinding, sausage stuffing, and snack stick making easier. But as we mentioned earlier, one of the major issues with meat grinding is the ability to keep meat as cold as possible in order to avoid binding and sticking inside the grinder head. Using the CoolTech ice gel pack and making sure that all the bones, sinew, and stray shot pellets have been removed helps to keep the auger turning freely. However, should the grinder become clogged for any reason during the operation, you should take the following steps in order to restore the grinder to normal output. On the number 22, 32, and 42 grinders, you can jog the spring-loaded reverse function briefly for a few seconds to help clear out a jam should one occur. Make sure the grinder comes to a complete stop before engaging the reverse function. If it is necessary to remove the auger for cleaning during operation, turn off and unplug the grinder first and use the included auger puller tool to remove the auger. Never try to remove the auger by hand. After unplugging the unit, turn the power switch on, then off to ensure that all power has been discharged from the grinder. Remove the CoolTech gel ice pack and place it in the freezer. Remove the front ring nut, grinding plate, and cutting knife. Use the auger pulling handle to remove the auger by first sliding the larger opening of the puller handle over the auger pin, then pulling down over the pin until the smaller opening of the auger puller locks into the notch on the auger pin. Pull down and out slowly to remove the auger. Again, never use your hands to remove the auger. Thoroughly wash all parts with warm soapy water, rinse, and dry. Make sure all of the holes in the grinder plate are clear. Do not place the parts in the dishwasher. They're not dishwasher safe. Reinstall the auger, cutting knife, and grinder plate into the grinder head. Replace and turn the front ring nut until snug, making sure not to over-tighten. Remove the CoolTech Gel Ice Pack from the freezer and place back onto the grinder head. Reconnect the grinder to the electrical outlet and turn the grinder on and continue with your grinding. As a safety precaution, the Carnivore grinder is equipped with a circuit breaker. If the grinder should stop running, follow these steps. Turn the grinder to the off position. Press the circuit breaker reset button. The reset button is located next to the on-off switch on number 8 and number 12 models, and next to the yellow control switch on the number 22, 32, and 42 models. Turn the grinder back on and resume grinding. If the grinder still does not turn on, check that the electrical wall outlet is properly working. Plug in another appliance to see if that appliance works from the wall outlet. Be advised that these larger units do take more power than the smaller units. If you're tripping your power often, you may need to move this to a higher amp outlet or upgrade your circuit box. If none of the above steps remedy the situation, call the customer service number shown here. It's also listed in the instruction manual. Once you have become familiar with your Cabela's Carnivore meat grinder, you'll also find that there are a number of easy-to-attach accessories available from Cabela's that can help you expand your grinder's use. For example, you can make thick and tasty jerky easily by attaching Cabela's commercial-grade jerky slicer, or quickly tenderize tougher cuts of meat by using Cabela's commercial-grade tenderizer cuber. See your grinder's instruction manual to learn how to maximize the use of your grinder with these convenient attachments and accessories. Cabela's tomato strainer sauce maker. Cabela's 7-gallon meat mixer with tilt attachment. Cabela's burger patty press attachment. Cabela's electric grinder foot pedal. Cabela's meat storage tubs. A variety of Cabela's grinding plates. Cabela's patty paper. Cabela's food-grade silicone lubricating spray and food-grade lubricating grease. Cabela's 6-piece brush cleaning kit. Cabela's commercial series grinder storage cover with a convenient side pocket for keeping additional parts and accessories clean. If you still have questions, you can contact Cabela's customer service at 1-800-237-4444. Thanks for watching.